101 brought to you by Promise Resource Network. Let's see. Today we're going to talk about mental health stigma and how to fight it. Stigma, let me read, is a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or person. A mark of disgrace. Wow. That's strong, isn't it? A mark of disgrace. That's what stigma is. It is a mark on people. It is like a label on our backs. And that's how people treat us. They read the label and they treat us a certain way. They treat us less than. They treat us differently. They treat us, good morning, David. They treat us like we're less than, right? And that is so disgusting. So that's the definition of stigma. I want to give you some statistics. First of all, anybody ever experienced that disgrace, that label on our backs?
All the time.
Do what?
All the time.
Well, tell me about that.
Oh, just when people know that you're a certain way, we tend to treat you different.
They do. Why do you think that is? What do you think is behind that?
Oh, because they can.
Because they can. Yeah, the power of it, power over us with those of us that are differently gifted, right? I like that. Differently gifted. Dorica's in the house. She says, good morning. Oh, Suzanne, nice to see you. Good. So stigma is that mark. Experience it. Stigma, I think, stems from fear. People don't understand us, so they fear us. Those of us with a diagnosis. I think there's two kinds of people in the world. Those of us who've been diagnosed and those of us that are yet to be diagnosed. Yes, sir.
Too much medication and not enough.
Yes. David said one time in particular, I lost a relationship when they said they couldn't be with someone who has mental health issues. Wow. That is cold. That is cold. Let me give you some statistics about people with mental health issues in America. It says 1 in 5 U.S. adults experience mental illness each year. 1 in 5 people, and there's still stigma. 1 in 5 people. I read an article one time that said something like 56% of social workers in North Carolina are medicated, have had to go somewhere to get help. And yet we still have to face that disgrace. 1 in 20 adults experience serious mental illness each year, and that includes things like bipolar and schizophrenia and all those other diagnoses. They put us in that box. They put us in that box, and it's so hard to get out. Alan.
And that's one of the things I like the best about, first of all, no labels, no diagnoses,
Yeah.
no judgment, no criticism.
Yeah, that's a big thing, and to be amongst our peers, to be with our people, and to not be judged for only a part of it. My mental health issues are only a part of me.
What?
They're only a part of me. They're not all of me. 1 in 6 U.S. youth age 16 to 18 experience mental health disorder each year. And 50% of all lifetime mental illnesses begin at 14 and 75 begin at 24.
Lifetime mental illness?
Uh-huh. Suicide is the second leading cause of death among people 10 to 14. The second leading cause of death. So we get that message that we're not enough. And it doesn't sit well with me. That does not sit well with me. I am enough. I am worthy. Yes, ma'am, my mental state does not show who I am, but it enhances how I feel and react. Thank you. I believe the best part of my personality has to do with my diagnosis. I compensate. I use the skills I've been given to stay well. And when I stay well, it's so difficult for me to see the world take a stand against me and say I am not enough. In the words of my grandmother, no, I can't say that. In the words of my grandmother, bullshit. That's bullshit.
Yeah, sometimes people just need to mind their own fucking business.
Yeah. To mind their own business. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, there are some things we can do about stigma. What else? What do you think? Okay. Things we can do about stigma. Kim, have you ever experienced stigma before?
Yes, always so. Just family members.
Oh, yeah.
I've had my daughter say, because I was like a little anxious, had some anxiety.
Yeah.
Are you taking your meds?
Oh, yeah. Man, that's like for us, alcoholics, you need a meeting. You need your meds.
Yeah.
Oh, Jaquita says, hey, Kim, miss you. I think that's his name.
Oh.
Yes, Alan.
Would you please, the word stigma, give your
Definition.
yes. Please.
Okay, I can do that. The definition of stigma. Whoops. Did I knock it off? The definition of stigma is a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or people. Yes, sir.
All right. I'm a same gender loving man.
Mm-hmm.
I've known it since youth.
Yeah.
And needless to say, I was stigmatized. I got all kinds of negative feedback. I went to see a shrink for many years. Didn't do any good.
No.
So, I stigma. That was definitely it's very different now. There are all these LGBTQ organizations, and I'm really comfortable talking about that here.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Yes, sir. Thank you, Alan.
Yeah, thank you. Well, speaking as a gay man, I can relate to this.
Yes.
Stigma. There's another type of stigma I just want to do.
Okay.
For a minute. In recovery.
Yeah.
Especially, I don't know the best way to put this. Let's say for someone that can pass.
Okay.
One that doesn't look the part.
Yeah.
Or act the part or practice the normal, what is considered the normal procedure, the normal technique. I have had other alcoholics try to tell me I'm not an alcoholic because I don't believe in God.
Yeah.
People don't believe you're mentally ill because you don't look like you're like walking mad.
Yeah.
And it's just frustrating because it's not up to you to define, unless you happen to be my doctor.
Yeah.
And this is what I'm seeing you for. And then there's only part of that is up to you to define who I am as a person.
Yeah.
And what I need as a person to allow me to, like how sick you think I need to be to get help. And all the things related to that. And, I find, sometimes you can get it from both ends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. A gay atheist with mental wellness issues and substance abuse issues living in the South.
Yeah.
You can get it from all ends.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's a thing called horizontal oppression where we speak negatively about our own group. Yes, Steve.
If I could just finish for a second.
I'm sorry, dear.
That's all right. And it's just, you just want to say, how is this your business?
Yeah.
You know, I know whatever works for you, but I have somebody like, I was just talking about, you know, in my recovery, like with my alcoholism, I used another book that you referred to, Rational Recovery, which is a secular
Yes.
way of recovery, which worked quite well for me.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of how helpful it was, so I share it with you.
Yeah.
And like somebody that was on the conventional route was kind of trying to give me the lecture and pull the information out of me so she could, I could tell what she was doing to kind of tell me I wasn't an alcoholic, and therefore I wasn't an alcoholic. So the fact that I've been sober for 10 years isn't an accomplishment because I never, you know, and I could see what she was doing.
Yeah.
And I just cut her off at the chase. I'm like, well, I see where you're going, but yes, I am an alcoholic. I know I'm an alcoholic, and I'm proud of my sobriety. Whether or not you think I'm an alcoholic or not is irrelevant, and whether or not you define me as an alcoholic doesn't change the fact that I've been sober.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
It's no. It's. I like what you said about the mental illness. If I don't look like this, what people think people with mental health issues look like, you know, where.
What is that?
Exactly.
Yes. What is that? What does that look like? I don't know.
And
I don't know. Hair all jacked up. No, my hair's okay today. I just wore a hat because I was, you know, I just wanted to wear a hat. So,
yeah,
yeah. You know what I love about our director, Shireen? She comes before congressmen and people that make those powerful decisions, and she tells them part of her story. And she, you know, she gives this whole presentation about recovery and the possibility. And then at the end, because she looks so normal and acts so normal, that they are blown away when she says, I have diagnoses. I have diagnoses. Yeah, I have diagnoses. And it's all right today. It's all right today. So let's get to some things that can help fight stigma. Oh, that's not it. Oh, there you go. Okay, fighting stigma. Talk openly about our mental health. Mental illness touches many lives and is still considered by some to be something to hide. By being brave and sharing our story, we encourage others to learn about and accept the mental health conditions of their loved ones and peers. Kim, you said family.
Yeah.
And that can be really, family members can stay in that stigma phase where they don't understand what's going on, okay? And they judge us. And they judge us on our past behavior, right? Family sometimes is the worst. People that have known us for the longest time, that have seen us come up and down, can stigmatize us, can make us feel less than, you know, whoever that is, whatever that is. Okay, so speak openly about our mental health issues. Right? I am not ashamed today because I know I am worthy. I am not ashamed today of my mental health, my mental wellness. Thank you, Steve. My mental wellness. Because I'm worthy today. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of family. I'm worthy of housing. I'm worthy of jobs. And this stigma against mental health can affect those things. It can cause us, one of the biggest, I think it is the largest group whose unemployment is the highest, and it's like 6%, are people with mental health issues. Stigma for me is just a programming from our ancestors and our society programming. Absolutely. Yes, Steve.
I think all that you said comes to one thing, respect.
Yeah.
We're all worthy of respect.
Yeah. And when I tell my story, I want to be respected in that. I want to celebrate. I want to celebrate my mental health issues, my mental wellness. I want to be able to share that with people. What happens when we share ourselves truly with good people? Yes, sir.
You feel grateful.
You feel great?
You feel grateful what you're doing.
You're right. You're right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Stigma is programming from our ancestors. People are programmed to fear different. And sometimes we are different. But that's all right.
It's easier.
Yeah. It's easier to judge people and put them in a box. All right. So tell our story. The more I open myself up and begin to help people experience people with mental health issues, to begin to let people know who I am, right, is critical. Anybody experience that where they told their story of mental health and it allowed people to know us better, accept us better? It's a hard thing to come out. I can't.
You said it. Have you ever experienced telling more about your story allows people to know you better?
Yeah, know you better and be our vulnerability. Has that helped in the past?
I've noticed it other people.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I try to be open with my family and they just don't get it.
They don't get it.
They
Yeah.
just don't get it.
Yeah.
So I don't discuss that part of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they don't understand. The second thing is educate ourselves and others. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Challenge others respectfully when they propagate stereotypes and misconceptions. Challenge people. That's hard, especially certain people in our lives. To challenge them and say, no, I am not that. I am not less than. I am who I am, and part of that is being differently gifted. Differently gifted. So when we educate people, how can we educate people? What can we do to help people understand us better? Well, what we can do. Quiet crowd today.
Still waking up.
I understand. I'm still waking up too. All right. Dorica says, I'm proud of my mental state and my achievements I've made. The achievements we have tend to be taken away. I notice individuals with older age don't understand no matter how much we explain, and younger ones are more accepting. I agree with that. The ancestors, we are programmed, I think. And I get stuck in the certain mentality and want to be able to help people get out of that. Younger people are easier. They're more accepting, I think, today. Their experience is different with people. They allow themselves to be vulnerable and to put ourselves out there. So we want to educate people. The next thing is be conscious of our language. Certain words are already considered a taboo and disrespectful. Yes, we can't say that. Yes, sir. What's a word?
I believe that right now. There's certain words that people say out their mouth.
Yeah.
You might not be in the mood. Hearing people with this, I call it gargles. They got a bunch of gargles in their mouth. I'm not feeling that, I ain't gonna tell you how I feel, but I don't really want to hear that.
Yeah.
If you want to talk crazy, that's your stuff. But don't come around me talking crazy.
That's one of the words, crazy.
Yeah.
Psycho.
Yeah,
Cuckoo
psycho.
for Cocoa Puffs.
Yeah.
All of it out there. It's,
You need
yeah.
to- you
Looney
need-
Tunes. Looney
You
Tunes.
need to go
Yeah.
in and stay on the other side of the lake. And I'm on this side. You can talk all right, but I like I only hear.
That's cool.
You know?
That doesn't even touch you.
So you ain't coming at me just stealing my joy.
There you go. And that's what those words can do when we put those words out there, when we propagate those words.
Because it's like this, you got to respect one another, even though
Yeah.
what he don't agree with what you saying or you don't agree with what he's saying. Respect him anyway. But
Yeah.
you can't keep on going forward.
Yes.
You know.
I believe in that
Yeah.
respect going back and forth.
I mean,
And a lot of that has to do with our language, doesn't it? What we say and what other people say to us, Steve.
So, I don't know how many times I've had this conversation being an alcoholic and having bipolar disorder.
Uh-huh.
A lot of times I would say, I am bipolar. And
Yeah.
I don't mean that I am my disorder. I
Yeah.
mean that I have, it's just a phrase.
Yeah.
And I will have people who will say, I am an alcoholic, turn to me and say, you are not your disorder.
You were not what?
You are not your disorder. And there's just so much judgment
Yeah.
in that. And it's like, of course, I know I'm not my disorder. I'm just explaining to you the things I go with, just like I know you do not say because you're an alcoholic that
Yeah.
you think you are your disorder if you consider alcohol
Yeah.
a disorder.
Yeah.
But it's just funny that judgment.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's judgment. It's putting us in a box. I am bipolar implicates that that's all I am. And when I say I'm a person with, fill in the blank, right? I'm a person with. I'm a person who may hear voices and see things. I'm a person that may experience intense festivities, intense energy, right? But that doesn't make me less than. That doesn't make me less than. Words are important. Crazy, psycho, all those words we say and are commonly used. By mediating our vocabulary, we can reduce stigma and negative connotations attached to mental health. It's out there. It's out there everywhere. The news uses it. The society uses it. All these phrases that hit us, right? That can cut us. Yes, sir.
I was thinking about that movie Will Smith played in. He played in that superhero. He had superpower.
Hancock.
Hancock. That little boy they called him Psycho.
Mm-hmm.
He had looked at him. He said, "Call me Psycho again." Little boy called Psycho. He threw him up in the air.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Doesn't he feel like doing that sometimes when people put us in that box?
You know, because he wasn't psycho.
No.
When people were just saying, calling him psycho.
Yeah.
And they mess around and got a terrorist spirit. You know. You was psycho when you got on your.
That's what they called him. And you know what? If you call me something long enough, I may become that.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
If I am called something long enough, I may become that. Yes, Alan. Oh, I'm sorry. Alan.
No.
You done?
Yes, sir.
Well, going back quite a ways, I remember when it was time for me to see about enlisting in the army.
Ah, yeah.
I was seeing a shrink, and he gave me a diagnosis: latent homosexual.
Yeah.
And that got me out of serving in the military.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it was considered a mental illness to be a homosexual until 1973. 1973.
Also allow homosexuals in the service for a
No.
long time. If they found out you were homosexual and was in the service, you would be discharged.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely. And I had to hide that, my mental illness, when I went into the military. You know, they ask you 6 questions. One of them is, are you homosexual? Another one is, do you have mental illness? I can't remember the other ones. Those were the ones that I am a homosexual. I am a person with mental wellness issues, absolutely. But I lied so I could get in.
No, I'm just saying that.
Yeah. And the fact that I had to lie, and then I had to keep lying, right? About I have to push in part of me because I don't think I'll be accepted. Words are a double-edged sword, and also don't stake claim into the negative and turn into all positive. Words are a double-edged sword, and also don't stake claim into the negative, turn it all into positive. Flip it. Words are powerful. No. I'm not bipolar. I'm a person with. I am a person experiencing. I am a person first, right? It says, show empathy and compassion for those living with mental health conditions. Loving and respecting people means having a desire to learn more about who they are and their life, what their life is like, and where they have come from. We have the most amazing stories here. We have the most amazing stories. And when we are able to be loving and kind and respectful to those around us that have different experiences, whose experiences may be more intense. I don't want to have stigma against these people. Yeah, Barry.
It hurts me when people judge me.
Yeah.
You know, and they think, well, you know, how can you be bipolar? Well, you know what? You don't fight the demons that I fight every day. And for somebody that's not bipolar, or is not an addict, you know, you can sit there and study all the books you want, go all the colleges you want to, but until you actually do the drinking or do the drugs or are bipolar, cannot, how to put it, you have no clue what the struggles and the battles and the demons that we fight. Yeah, and they look at us like we're strange or we're weird or we're crazy or we're retarded or lunatic. You know,
all those words that are so harsh.
They don't understand the battles that we go through. And it's not like from the time we come out of the womb and said, you know what, I decided to be bipolar.
Yeah.
Or I decided to be a drug addict. Or I decided to be an alcoholic today.
Yeah.
And, or be homeless.
Yeah.
You know, for that matter. You don't know the story and the life that person has lived in, or what their experiences they've went through.
Yeah.
You know, until you walk a mile in their shoes, don't sit back and judge, because guess what? You could be just where I'm at. Maybe not bipolar, but you know, you could be a drug addict just like I am. You could be an alcoholic just like I am.
Yep.
You could be homeless at one point just like I am. You know, nobody is no bit better than anybody else. You know, and the ones you judge, to me, are the ones that's got the problem.
I agree, Barry. I agree. And that makes it so difficult when people do that to us, when people stick us in that box and use those words. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. You got them, Barry.
It's like they label us already.
Yeah.
Before you get to know our story, they're labeled us. Well, you know what? You know, he's a troublemaker, or he's an alcoholic, or he's a drug addict, or he's homeless, or you know, he's homosexual. So what? Who cares? You know? Who cares? It's not your life that you know you're living. It's ours. Okay, let us live our life. You live yours.
Just like when Shireen tells her story. When we tell our story, when other people tell their story, it's amazing what people have been through, what people have survived and gotten on the other side of. That is our power. And like Barry said, I am different, but it's okay. Just because you haven't heard my story and don't know who I am, doesn't mean you can judge me. When I tell my story, when I allow other people to tell their story. Remember, I talked about horizontal oppression, and that is when,
Being oppressed from all sides.
yes, my people are oppressing me because of my mental wellness experience, right? Yes, Steve.
So, again, from all sides. You don't look gay. You're high functioning.
High functioning. I like
Yes,
that
you're
one.
high functioning. You're not really homeless.
Yeah.
Are you sure you were really an alcoholic?
Yeah.
Why don't you believe in God? You should believe. Those sorts of things.
Yeah.
These are kind of things I get, and it's like none of those things are any of your business.
Yeah.
And two, it's not up to you to judge based on my appearance.
Yeah.
I am. It's
Yeah.
one of the reasons I am with my gayness a little bit more forward about it and a little bit more forward about my atheism.
Yes.
Because if not, you would not believe the awkward conversations that avoid.
Yeah.
I mean,
So when you speak out on those things, does it help people understand you better?
I think it does, but it also it causes an awkward situation now, but I'd rather have the awkward situation right now with the person that has the problem, with essentially the bigot.
Yeah.
Even though we don't think of ourselves that way. But
Yeah.
if you have a judgment call on the way somebody else thinks,
Yeah.
you kind of can be. But when it's better to have that awkward conversation now than to have it over and over and over again every minute of every day for 20 years of your life.
Yeah.
I like to compare it to kind of compete to people that could, the expression people that could pass.
Yeah.
People that were multiracial.
Yeah.
But they looked like one race or the other. So they could just pretend that they didn't have the other part in them and blend in their surroundings. And it's easier to blend, but it comes at a cost.
Yeah, it does.
And yes, being gay and appearing straight has that same kind of cost.
It does. It's that hiding. It's that I understand that phrase, high functioning.
I've been told that
Wow.
by somebody that didn't help me
Yeah.
after they told me I was yellow number 5.
Yeah.
We had that discussion.
What that is?
Oh, okay.
Oh, no.
No, too long. I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
I'll tell you later.
Jordan's in the house. Mary's in the house. Good morning, Mary. Good morning, Jordan. All right. So the next thing is stop the criminalization of those who live with mental illness. Talk with families, neighborhood groups, law enforcement officers, health professionals, and legal experts about how to interact with someone affected by mental health issues. Encourage those in charge to get training in crisis intervention. All right, one thing that we're doing is having class. Thank you, Steve.
I didn't know you could hear me.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I didn't. Okay. We do a thing called CIT, Crisis Intervention Training, with police officers, and this is a national thing. And what we do, what Mecklenburg County does, is they bring a group of officers in, and they teach them for a week-long training about how to help people with mental wellness issues, people who experience addiction, people who are on the spectrum, people that are a little different, how to help us rather than harm us, how to hear us. I think the greatest thing that causes stigma is not being heard, right? When I'm not heard, you don't understand. And when you don't understand, you stigmatize me. So when we work with the law enforcement agencies, that helps. When we tell our story, it all goes back to our story, right? See the person, not the illness. Talk about our family and friends with mental issues anytime a conversation invites the opportunity with an open heart, love, and real information about the real person. They are more than their condition. When we talk about other people, I got to remember that person's like me. They are more. They are worthy, right? There are parts of me. I am a teacher. I am a daughter. I'm a person with mental health issues. I am a wife. I am a lot of things. There are many parts of me. And one part of that is my mental health issues. Not that it doesn't affect the other parts of me, but today it doesn't control the other parts of me. And when I accept other people in the same way, I'm fighting stigma. I'm fighting stigma. That's what I want to do today. I want to fight. I want to fight for the people that stand beside me, the people that have embraced me and have allowed me to tell my story. Family and friends and people here and peer support specialists. I love what Alan said about peer support specialists. It is the shit. Where we're not judged because we're sitting with someone with a similar experience. I have not experienced homelessness, so I can't speak on that. But I have experienced loneliness and frustration and anger and fear, right? So when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, when we allow ourselves to be ourselves and to talk and to tell our story, it makes such a difference. All right. Any other suggestions on how to fight stigma? Attic up, protest. Absolutely. We've got to get
Challenge it whenever possible. Yeah.
challenge it whenever possible. Either individually or people that are a group, right? We want to be able to fight today for our rights.
That could get quite confrontational.
Yeah, it can. It can. When we stand up for the mental health recovery family has been fighting for decades for our rights. And when we are standing on the shoulders of greatness, when we advocate for each other, right? I've got chills because I am honored to be amongst people who experience mental health issues. I'm honored to be around people that don't, right? I got to accept them too. Earth people. So when I judge them, I'm just as bad, right? Yes, sir.
You talk about mental health. Substance abuse and alcohol. They've been around since we were born.
Yeah.
You have to realize that you get older. That I've had mental health issues since I came out of Berkeley.
Mm-hmm.
You know, 'cause I've been around a lot. I've been around a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my life came out in the 70s. But you cannot look down on the person that have been there. Because I go down to the transit. I'll be down in transit. And if people have mental health issues every day, people talk to themselves. I hope they'll answer themselves back. But I look for that. One time I looked down on people like that, or what they do, judgment. As I got older, I realized that you can't look down on because God don't look down on you.
Yeah.
How you gonna look down on a person and you ain't looking at yourself?
Mm.
You know? So you had to look at yourself too, which I had to look at myself. You know, so I say I ain't better than this person. Right? I hope it get better.
Yeah.
You know, I see it under my breath.
Yeah. Absolutely.
know, since I've been coming here, I learned a lot from people. You know, this be done on I don't. I learned a lot from people because that makes me better. You know?
Yeah.
And, you know, and people with, like we're talking about, harsh words.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't like to be around nobody. I don't like to be nobody be mad every time you see me. Blah, blah, blah. Man, come on, man. Life's too short.
It is.
Why don't you do something better to try to help a brother out? My blessing coming in life, if I had to help an elderly man and an elderly woman, that was my blessing come from.
Yeah.
Because one day I'm getting older and I want somebody to help me. That's why you cannot treat nobody and disrespect them and talk foul. You can't do it. You got to show like that thing right there at the bottom, right there. There it is. Respect.
Respect.
You know,
Absolutely.
if you don't get that in life, then something bad gonna happen. You know, it's just like we say, you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
Or you do wrong, wrong gonna come back at you.
And
So,
judgment.
Yeah, and so you know we gotta leave God to do it, but you can't do it nobody. You gotta do it yourself too. But I'm grateful today. You know, I woke up on the bad side this morning, and I said, "Nah, I can't do it. You know, I can't do it." I said, "Let me get up and so I come here."
Yeah.
That's what I
Be
did.
with my people.
And did it. And and you show a lot of love though. But I'm gonna tell you about. I'll make you. There's one place where I go to, and you have a lot of people in there criticism. It started getting to me yesterday. I started to act out, but I said, "Nah, I'm gonna be quiet." You know, how you gonna try to be somebody and you ain't even working on what's wrong with you?
Mm.
You know, you talk foul out the mouth. I had to straighten a couple of them like that. You know, they want to be in your business. They don't want to speak to you. You know, when you be in class, they want to speak, but when you be out, they look at you like you ain't nothing. You're an outcast. I don't like to be around people like that. You know, I like to be around positive people, not negative people. Show me something. Show me some interest in for me to grow. You know, and you know that's where I'm at today. So you know, I won't let that bad spirit get to me.
I don't want that judgment in me.
Nah.
I want to respect other people.
Yeah.
And you know, the second thing right above that respect, be a hero. Be a hero. Right? What you got, Elijah?
Going up. Yeah.
I got just a few minutes, so you will be done in just a minute, Elijah. Okay, so be that hero. Be that hero. My shirt says, "We do recover." We do recover, and I'm wearing this shirt today because I want people to know we do recover. And they go, somebody may ask you, recover from what? Let me tell you. Let me tell you my story. Let me tell you my story in 5 minutes. Let me tell you my story so you'll understand that there's an alternative to stigma, right? So we got two things. The warm line. I want you to, I'm going to type it in here. The warm line is a 24/7. I'm sorry, I'm typing in the number. 7728. The warm line, where you can call just to talk to folks. There are peer support specialists on that line ready to listen, ready to hear, right? And it's so good. 833-390-7728. I put it in the chat. If I'm kicking on Wednesday night about 3 a.m., I want to call the warm line. I want to talk to somebody. I want to get this out of me, right? The other thing is share this. The more, especially this one, stigma is killing people. from the inside out, from the outside in, right? So share this video, share it with your people on Facebook. Somebody may watch this and realize, man, I've been sitting in judgment and I don't need to do that anymore. People are people. I respect somebody. You know, they say, you got to get respect to give. You got to give respect to get respect. You walk up to me, you automatically got respect. And that's how we all want to live. And I see that in recovery, right? So we're out of time. I'm sorry. So go out there, tell your story. Tell your story. Make a difference in the world. Change the world today. That's our goal. That's our challenge. That's what we do. Keep peace, share love, and have a wonderful holiday.